like an hour and a half here on the East Coast. Hope that you are doing well in our continued stay-at-home / lockdown / global health emergency situation. I continue to wish you and your family and loved ones much health and safety during this time. Certainly a very, very strange time. I am going to be playing some more of the SEGA Genesis Classics Collection here, and I had played through Streets of Rage 2 in our last stream, and I actually want to go through and play Streets of Rage 3 because I haven't played it before, believe it or not. Well, I take that back. I've played it, but I haven't played it a lot. I've played it in passing. So I want to play it all the way through tonight and see what I think of it, because this is a rather divisive game in the series. Usually when people rank it, I usually see it 2, then 1, and then 3. And I do think 2 is better than 1, but I don't know much about 3. Again, I've played it just in passing. I have it on certain other collections, but I haven't really played it for myself. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play it on stream here and see what I think. Sticking with my boy Axel here, I don't change. So it looks like we have a bomb getting ready to go off here. 2... Oh, that was close. Another few seconds and boom. Yes, we're lucky we found the bomb. Someone set us up the bomb. What's your next move, Axel? Zan was right about the bomb. Anything to do with Rising Zan from the PlayStation? Probably not. Maybe he's right about the robots too, but I'll have to see it to believe it. Axel's got some weird hair going on there, and like the blue bandana thing. Sorry you don't believe me, Axel, but there's no time to waste. Okay, Lex Luthor. Wow, he even kind of looks like Lex Luthor there. So here we are, stage 1. The music's already a little different. Certainly not as catchy a theme as the as in 2. It's snappier. This is faster. Okay, this isn't bad. Feels different. I do think graphically, or at least technically speaking, it is very good. It's smoother, I think, than the second game. I'm not sure how I feel about the character designs yet. And again, the music isn't as catchy as in 2, so... But that's more subjective than anything else. So again, apple. Nothing really feels quite like just beating up dudes. Oops, I didn't want to do that, but I did. So I get to keep going, here we go. Oh, you're just waiting to jump on me, aren't you? Oh, I just hit you with a bat. Good. Jump. Home run. Whoops, I don't like the knife anyway. I'll take the bat again. I like how he runs right at you. I want to stab you, and he doesn't. It's also interesting that this is the one of the Streets of Rage games that isn't available for the 3DS. 1 and 2 are available. Oh, you got a gun. Go. But 3 was never made available, which just speaks to the divisiveness surrounding this game. Again, a lot of the folks who tweet about it or write about it or talk about it that I know of, they tend to dismiss this game largely. It's not as good as the other games. And I can certainly see that to an extent. I think by the third game it starts to feel very samey. And this doesn't take the same... this doesn't make the same changes or take the same risks that, like, say, Final Fight 3 does, for example. Oh, I hate this guy. And you stabbed me, so automatically I don't like you. Oop. Interesting, so you can double tap to the left or right and he runs. Okay. Oh, now your weapons have health bars. Also something I didn't notice until just now. Oh, great. More bike riders. What's interesting, we don't have as many explosion effects as we did in 2. I don't necessarily know that that makes the game bad, but it's definitely different. Hey, stop punching me, jerk. So I had thought about what I wanted to stream tonight. I actually had thought about streaming Shenmue 3 because I haven't played it yet, but I thought that it would be better if I wanted to change games and make this for a longer stream than playing Shenmue 3, and I haven't played Shenmue 2 yet, really, so I don't have a lot of background information, but I just thought it would be better to play something like this so I could kind of talk as I play rather than be all kinds of wowed like I was with Doom 64 last night. Yeah, this isn't bad, but it doesn't... It's one of those things, like, you feel bad for dissing the game because on a technical level it's not any worse than the other 2 games, but there's something about it that doesn't feel right. The double tapping is kind of strange. Where you can do this weird, like, dragon punch or rising uppercut thing. That must mean the boss is coming. Oh. So I finally did get my stuff downloaded last night, and I think I had mentioned it on the stream, but for those who weren't there, I picked up some games from the Great Spring, or the Big Spring Sale on the PlayStation Store, and I talked about Shenmue 3 already. I'm looking forward to trying that, and I got the deluxe edition of that, so I'll be able to check out the downloadable content too. So I got that, and I got Tekken 7, and I had Tekken 7 physical for a long time, and I mentioned in the stream last night I was having an issue with my PS4 last year where it wasn't working quite right, and then I realized it was the hard drive. I have a Seagate drive here, and it was making like a whining noise, and it wasn't often, it was just every once in a while, and of course, me being me, I thought that it was automatically something that was wrong, and I thought the system was going. So I overreacted, I sold off a lot of my physical stuff, and I bought it for the Xbox One X instead. And I found, wow, I'm getting my butt kicked here. I found when I changed the USB port that the hard drive is plugged into, because I have an external, and that seemed to mitigate a lot of the sound, and now it seems to be running just fine. So now I'm building up that collection again, but I'm buying things digitally because of what's going on right now. Ow. Thanks, jerk. And it's interesting because Tekken 7 doesn't have any Xbox One X enhancement. So it actually looks better on the PS4, this old PS4 system, than it does the Xbox One. Oh, that's interesting. So you get your life back. That's cool. I can't believe it. No one told me a thing. We're wasting time fighting these punks. I think I have an idea where to go now. I hope you're right. I don't know if the story stuff is really necessary. It feels like the forced narrative in Final Fight, like the original Final Fight, like nobody cared. Gotta save Jessica, okay. I don't know whether I really need motivation. I know that I have to beat up the bad guys, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I picked up Tekken 7, like I said, and the thing about that was, like, I had the most recent Season Pass, too. So it made sense for $10 to just get the game digitally and get all that content back. And I know that there was just, like, a new stage release and some other cool things, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. One game that I'm on the fence on is Soul Calibur 6, because I do have that game already bought, and I probably should just download it anyway. But the Season Pass 2 is available, but it's pricey. It's $34 for the Season Pass. And it's kind of hard to, at least right now, it's kind of hard to justify spending $34 on 2 characters and some and some character creation stuff. Why are there kangaroos? Okay, speaking of Tekken, is that Roger? I'm beating up a kangaroo. Okay. This isn't weird at all. The music is definitely not as good. Oh, of course his name is Rue, because why wouldn't it be? I am punching a kangaroo. Ah, yes, this is video games, folks. Punching kangaroos. I'm just punching them and they're not even moving. Okay. That's fine. The lighting is neat. I like what they did here. Again, like a technical level, like a graphics standpoint, this is very good. Even if I have issues with some of the character designs, the animation is good, the color is good, especially considering the more limited SEGA Genesis color palette. And these effects are really neat to look at. But the music definitely is a step down. I don't know what Yuzo was thinking with this music. And the gameplay just doesn't feel any better or tighter. If anything, it feels more loose because of the dash mechanic. It really should have been something that should have been assigned to a button. Ow. Go. Definitely in a nightclub. Oh, hey, hello. You just fell out of the sky for no apparent reason. I always miss with the knife. Always, always, always. I can't ever hit a target with it. Yeah, you're not gonna hit me, dude. Oh, I missed him again! Nope, and I still missed. Oh, it's a Lorena. That is a reference to something else entirely. Those of you who remember Weird History will remember the Bobbit case. I'm pretty sure that's what that's based on, although I'd have to check the release date of this game to see if it fits. For those that don't remember or know, Lorena Bobbitt committed a very interesting assault on her husband. Basically assaulting part of the male anatomy that you really don't want to assault. Like, cut it off. So I think that's what this is in reference to. But I would have to check my dates to see whether I'm right. Apparently the plank is going to run out of energy here shortly. Well, that's it for you. Now what? Okay. Now, will the turkey stay? Yes. Oh, no. It's always bad when there are two enemies like this. It doesn't matter what game in this series. Whenever they tag team you, or tag team someone against just like a handicap match, it's never good. I gotta stay close to the turkey, because I don't want to not use it. I want to conserve my lives if I can. What is that? Alright, there we go. Ooh. Bare knuckle. Bare knuckle. Bare knuckle. Interesting. Bare knuckle. Come on, There. Alright, we got one of the bosses down to her basic health bar, so that's good. Just gotta get rid of one. If I can get rid of one, I got a shot. I think I'm gonna lose a life here, though. That sucks. That really, really sucks. Alright, so we got rid of one. The Blue Island Bar. Ow. Alright. Come on, dude. Oh, apparently this bar is, like, underwater. There's, like, a shark back there. That's kind of neat. Ooh. I think having a Blue Island bar in a game today would probably get you a T rating. Come on, stop with the insanity already. That's another 80s reference. There we go. That deserves a drink of water. Oh, here comes a note. Come and inspect the building of our new mall. Oh, link to the syndicate. That's never good. We interrupt this program for an important announcement. The chief of police has been kidnapped because, of course. The last person seen with him was ex-cop Axel Stone. I guess that's me. What? And what should be a question mark. I haven't seen him in over 6 months. Coming at this time, the loss of such a senior city figure can only mean further mayhem if more bombs explode. I think this means trouble. Let's get to the construction site. And away we go. This even feels longer, and maybe it's because of the narrative stuff. It doesn't feel... Oh! Whoa, did I just punch that barrel out of the way? Whoa, whoa, whoa! No, no. Apparently Donkey Kong is, wow, playing this game because he's throwing barrels at me, or somebody is. Really? I wasn't past it? Oh, that's not good. Uh-oh. Not good at all. Alright, there's one thing in grapplers that I can't stand. It's characters who grab. I hated this in the Turtles games, and I hate it here. Okay, those are not punchables. This is a punchable. Alright, so we got a bomb to throw at somebody. Alright. Now, that sucks. Let's go. Oh. Gotta get out of the way, homie. Ow. I'll have that turkey. And I still get stabbed. So we're seeing our first big difficulty spike, I think. Which is weird. And if you'd stop running me through with that knife, I'd be greatly appreciative. And why this woman's scream sounds like breaking glass is hard to fathom. Ow. Yeah, I'm starting to see why this game kind of gets a bad rap. Really not impressed with it. I'll see it through as long as I can. don't see myself giving up on it as long as I've got continues, but I'm not impressed with this. Ooh! Yeah, it missed me. Whoa, where'd she go? Did I knock her off the thing? Nice! Okay. What is this sound? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, okay. Alright, I guess I gotta do this then. This is dumb. This is dumb. This is dumb. Like, what do you even do? This is stupid. Okay, this right here would explain why people wouldn't like the game. Do I get a continue? I get a and I only get one. I only get like 2 continues. What? Alright, are we done here? What? Excuse me? So what do you even do? You gotta go down here, I guess? No? I think I'm gonna be changing games here. Do I go around it like this? Really? Okay. That's the first genuinely stupid thing I've seen in a Streets of Rage game. I mean, that is genuinely dumb. Don't make environmental puzzles in a brawler, man. That's stupid. Oh, man. Of course, we gotta have an elevator stage and a beat 'em up. That's like this series version of like a sewer level. What? Where are you coming from? You're just falling out of the sky for no reason. Hang on a minute. Oh, that is irritating. Oh, now it goes from left to right. Wow, this is the worst. So stupid. I don't even know that I'm going to finish this. I've already wasted a continue, and I'm down to like 2 lives left. Are we done? Oh, great. Now we have a boss fight. Okay. Stop it. Come on, Tiger Man. Really? Okay. That wasn't a boss fight? Oh, there's gotta be a turkey over here. Oh, it's my lookalike. Oh, and of course I'm gonna lose any kind of advantage. Take that. Okay. He's faster than me. Really? Oh, he's mad now. Okay. So he's faster than me. It's gotta be a robot then. There we go. Ooh, okay, almost there. Bare knuckle. Bite me. There it is. That totally looks like a robot. Yep, it's the T-1000. A robot that looked just like me. So it seems you're right, Dr. Zan. Now tell us why you're helping us. That robot nearly killed us. How do we know this isn't a trap? It may be a trap, but I didn't set it. Oh, so Dr. Zan used to be an enemy, I guess? Without his help, we would know nothing. I trust Dr. Zan. Please apologize to him. Stop arguing and look over here. This concealed door has been used recently. Oh, I guess this is where we're going. Stage 4. This has been long. It's been arduous. And I don't like saying that about video games. Like, there are certain games that are arduous. Like, Animal Crossing is arduous. Whoa. Like, Animal Crossing is work. Let's face it. It's not stressful work a lot of the time, but it's still work. You have to build stuff, and you have to sell things. And I want to stop short of calling it tedium, but there's a lot of work involved. This is just work in a game that's supposed to be fun. I think the worst part is that this game is probably the more valuable of the Streets of Rage trilogy right now if you're getting it for the Genesis. And I understand it's because it's you know, it's less common. Oh, gotta get out of the way. Thanks for nothing. But this is not a good game. It just isn't. Where is it? It's up top, right? Yeah. These guys. Alright, here we go. Oh, gotta get out of the way. Haha. Still I missed. How do you miss? So good. Gotta get out of the way. Nope. Oh man, I am just getting pounded. Where is it? It's up top, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Can we keep going now? Thank you. Oh, gritty. Susie. Get out of there. And seriously, they scream, it sounds like breaking glass. Unless it's Sindel, like, that makes no sense. Oh, it's a turkey. No, I'm not gonna use it yet. Get out of there! No, no, down. Ah. Oh, this is a boss fight. Or a mini boss fight, at least. Okay. Where is the train coming from? Ah. Oh, that is so cheap. So cheap. We good? It's worth mentioning if you're looking for more games to add to your library, because we're going to be not doing things for a while. It might be worth taking a look at all three, depending on what console you have. There are some really cool sales going on for all three consoles right now. Oh, I am going to get waxed. You know, the PlayStation sale has been very good. There are some really good deals to find. But Nintendo just rolled out theirs today, and Microsoft also rolled out theirs today. And there are definitely some games for the Xbox One that I'm looking at. It's also worth noting that part of that sale, there's a lot of backwards compatible Xbox 360 games that might be worth a look. Keep in mind, if you're thinking about getting the Xbox 360 games, you can't use Xbox Live or Xbox currency. You have to use a credit card. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about getting them. But I know that Asura's Wrath is one of the games that's available. The Mass Effect trilogy is available, and we don't have an HD version of that yet. So if you like the Mass Effect games, you definitely want to look in that direction. Oh, he's still got a lot of life left. Oh, no, this is another guy. This must be the boss character. Kasugi. Is that the... Oh, wait, no. We good? These guys are super fast, of course. So those are a couple that I saw. I know that the... I think it's on all of the stores. I think that Crash Bandicoot and the Spyro games are also on sale, and those are a lot of fun, too. Gotta get out of there. Ooh. Didn't I kill you already? Jerk. I know Bloodstained is on sale on the Xbox store, so if you like Metroidvania kinds of games that have that old school Castlevania Symphony of the Night feel, sorta, kinda, I recommend that one, even though I have my problems with the game. One thing I don't have a problem with when it comes to that game is the soundtrack. The soundtrack's amazing. But make sure you check out all of the sales that are going on. If you have, right now, the safest way to get new games and kind of get around the whole non-essential rule that a lot of communities have is to buy digitally. And I know that there are some arguments about digital and losing your ability to sell or trade games in when you're done with them and things like that. But right now, it's really the best way to buy games. And the game prices right now are cheap enough where I think it's worth the risk. Alright, where are we now? Is that wind? Oh, no, there's someone... okay. So they're invisible. Really? Oh, a shredder. That's awesome. Okay. So I'm guessing there's gonna be a turkey in one of those. I'm right. Oh. The other good thing about buying digitally is you don't have to wait for shipping when it comes to buying the cards themselves. A lot of places are selling the cards online, so you can get the codes almost immediately, and that's going to be important when you want to buy some of these things. Of course, you need to have room on your hard drive, or you need to create room. Some of the games are going to be decent size. I know that on the PlayStation here, you can get everything Kingdom Hearts for $30 right now. You can get all of the Kingdom Hearts stuff for $30, but it's like 115 gigs to get the whole kit and caboodle. So definitely make sure that you have hard drive space. It was easier to get portable, or not portable, but external hard drives before this whole health crisis broke out. So it's going to be a little more challenging right now, especially if you order from Amazon, where the pricing is going to, the shipping times are going to be pretty significant. But I have 4 gigabyte externals for both the PS4 and the Xbox One, and they were definitely worth the money that I spent. Let me guess, I got to deal with 3 of these jokers. So that's what's going on, like, sales-wise. I mean, I really can't recommend it enough. You'll have plenty to do, obviously, and this is going to be a time that you're going to want to be leveraging or building a backlog for yourself. We saw today the first notable, like, really big, high-profile game delay, which would be The Last of Us 2, which is now delayed indefinitely. They're going to be talking about release dates later. And the reason that they changed the release date, or that they delayed the release date, is that getting games physically is going to become very difficult, especially for certain territories because of international shipping regulations and restrictions because of everything that's going on. And it's just not possible for games of that caliber to be released digitally only, because so many people pre-ordered it physically. And as Naughty Dog had pointed out today, they want the experience to be the same for everybody. They don't feel that it would be fair to release digitally and not physically. Alright, I'm down on my last continue. So we might be changing games after this, because I don't think I'm going to finish it. You jerk. So, and I think that's something you're going to see for, I hate to say it, but for the foreseeable future. Now I got to deal with one more of these jerks. So digital is going to be the way to go. As you know, I get those who don't want to go digital. I get the risks that come with it, the lack of value that might come with it, especially when buying a game brand new digitally and paying $60 or $80 or $100 or whatever it is for the game. But it is the easiest way right now to get the games that you're looking for. Oh, what is this? You get to turn invisible? That's... no. You know, the biggest challenge is going to be, for me, is going to be the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because PlayStation Network download speeds have been throttled, which means they've been scaled back. And it's obvious. I noticed last night when I was downloading things, the whole store is having issues in terms of its speed and responsiveness, especially if you're downloading something in the store already. In fact, for the first time since I've had my PS4, I had issues with, like, game licenses that weren't working for a couple of the Doom games that I bought, and I had to reset my internet connection in order to get them to go through. And I'd never had that happen before, and again, that's just because of what's going on. So, you know, I'm not gonna say that there aren't inconveniences that are possible when it comes to buying digitally, and it's certainly not going to be the optimum method for future-proofing. You know, a good example of this, and I mentioned it on Twitter today, I bought Doom Eternal for the Xbox One, and originally I was going to buy it physical. I had a physical copy pre-purchased at GameStop, and when this whole crisis broke out, and that was, I went to GameStop to cancel my pre-orders on the 16th of March. But I was sure that I was going to like the game, so I bought it, and now I'm not even a quarter of the way in, and I've gotten to a platforming sequence that I can't get past. So I just gave up. And I'll go back to it at some point, because the game is fun when it's not platforming. But it's definitely a game I probably could have waited on. I'm thinking with Final Fantasy VII Remake, although I've been highly critical of the game in the past, and I still have my reservations because it's not going to be the complete game, and we're probably not going to get the series finished on the PS4. It's still going to be, you jerk. It's going to be the nostalgia value for that, for me. While I can certainly play the original Final Fantasy VII, I have enough copies of it. Let's get that sword. You stink. I think it's just going to be a necessary thing to kind of keep my mind off everything that's been going on. So I'm looking forward to that. I keep hearing rumors that the download or the preload time has been moved ahead, but the PlayStation Store has not reflected such a change, so I'll have to see. But I guess my main point is that while I understand some of the trepidation about digital, now is probably the time that I recommend it the most. Just because of all of the uncertainty going on out there with how things are, it's hard not to just get rid of all that uncertainty by just buying digital. You don't have to worry about who touched it. You don't have to worry about shipping. You don't have to worry about any of that kind of Fabio, really? You don't have to worry about any kind of uncertainty, really. The only inconvenience you have is just download time. More of these guys? That was a waste of my time. Bare knuckle. Bare knuckle. Uh-oh. Fabio got strong. Bare knuckle. Oh, and don't get cornered between two. Gonna be trouble. Oh, I got them both. Alright, that was huge. That's one thing I'll say about this game versus the others, is having that refilling special move is a godsend. In the other games, like, you lose life when you use it. Nice. But here, it regenerates, and you don't really get penalized for it, and it comes in handy. Alright, there's gonna be a turkey somewhere here. Or an apple. Really? Of course the guy's name is Muscles. Julio, me and Julio down by the schoolyard, a song that nobody watching the stream will remember. Music continues to be uninteresting. It's very experimental sounding. Ah, that's not good. And I am in trouble, because if I lose this life, I'm going to be very poorly positioned to get much further. Game. Alright, Dwight's gone. Oh, there's another one. Dwight and Ike, huh? And the fire breathers are a problem. And always have been since they've been introduced. Good AI here in trying to dance around my attacks. That's pretty good. Got Ike for that. Okay. We good? Can I keep going? Yeah? Turkey! Oh, this is great. They block. Oh, jerks. Man, this just gets unfair. Oh, and of course I blew it, right? I know that there have been characters that block, or enemies that block in other grapplers. I know that Final Fight has some that do. It's annoying, because you really don't have a block option as a character in this game. What, another one? Of course it's Fabio. And those guys are definitely like Final Fight based. Oh. Nope. Just trying to get Fabio out of the way here. Ooh. Alright. Oh, got a kick right in the face. He's quick. Hey Matt, how you doing, buddy? There we go. I'm doing about as well as anybody's doing right about now. What weird times these are. Alright, I need some... Oh, wait a minute. Where all you guys come from? Bear in mind, I have not played this far. My interest in this game is usually pretty fleeting, so a lot of the stuff I'm seeing for the first time... The fact that you can block baseball bat shots is kind of cheesy. Yeah, today was the first day that I got to talk to some of my students in a video chat setting, and it was rough. You know, I hate seeing anyone struggle with stuff like this, and you know, kids don't understand what's going on here. They don't understand why we're stuck in the house and how long this is going to go. And it was difficult to hear some of the concern and see them struggle with something like this. You know, and all you can do as an adult in this situation is just try and let them know that we're going to get through it as best we can, and you know, we've persevered through challenges before. You know the drill. And I do believe that it's going to be a while. It's going to be quite a while. I guess Reuters News tonight mentioned that Wuhan, which is where a lot of this kind of really got its epicenter initially, they're back to telling people to staying in the house because there's evidence of another potential outbreak. So you know, it's hard to think that won't happen here. So even if you tell someone that there's some kind of light at the end of the tunnel when we do narrow the curve, we don't know really what's going to happen. And what makes it difficult is just not being able to give an answer to a student, to a kid. Usually, at least in an educational setting, you're able to give some answers, some kind of clarification, because you've been through it before, or you have some experience in this area. And both myself and the teacher that I was on the call with, a lot of the questions we were able to answer, but not everything, because nobody knows. And there was some difficult stuff too, like there was a student who mentioned that she saw some hoarding going on and didn't understand what was behind it. And, it's really tough to explain human nature in an instance like that. Survival versus greed, and... Am I done? Is this the end? Mr. X, welcome to my humble abode. Why are you back? Didn't I kill you? I've been expecting you for some time. Tell me, Axel, what kept you? Enough of your games. What's going on? I'm replacing the current city administration with some more dependable subjects, starting with the chief of police. What have you done with him? Relax, he's in a safe place awaiting your rescue attempt. Why don't you come and join me? Oh, so this is a fake boss battle, basically? It has to be, because it's only stage 5. But yeah, I got to do that today. Our regular, or at least as regular as possible, like, our remote learning plan starts on April 13th. So after next week, we'll be setting more firm schedules for kids and holding virtual classes online and having extra help sessions and things like that. More of these jokers. And of course they block. So that'll help, because my sleep schedule's just been terrible. I think I went to bed last night about like 4 or 4:30. And granted, I was able to still get up for my conference call at 10 o'clock or whatever, but I remember when school was really going on, I was getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was in school before 8, and things were definitely more structured. Now it's been weird of late. Once we get back into more of a rhythm with the remote learning, I think it'll be a little better. Where are you? I see you. Can I beat you up now? Oh, it's a robot, right? What is that? Alright. Oh. Of course he's got a gun. Mm-hmm. This is a little ridiculous. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be an end boss, even though it was this Dr. X guy. Oh, what is that? There we go. Got him. The robot angle. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this. Oh, I just punched a missile. Okay. Because that makes sense. Oh, I thought I had him. There we go. All right, look at that. Still have 4 lives left. I mean, all right, that was a nice twist, I guess. Not quite the BioShock twist to keep you playing, but at least it's a nice twist in that you saw. Oh, is that it? Oh, because I'm playing easy. That's got to be why. All right, that's fine. Put my real initials in because I'm on top of the high scoreboard. All that effort, and you only defeated my stand-in. Yeah, you've not discovered the location of my hostage. While I have him, Axel is thought to be a criminal. You play this game like a beginner. There you go. That's what I get for playing games on easy. And that's how things were back during this time, for those of you that may not have been around, is that if you had to have the option to play games on easy, but you could very rarely get the true ending on the game unless you played on hard, or at least on normal. Looks like Dracula. Is that blood? Thought it was supposed to be one. The end? Yeah, no, it's not the end, but I'm not playing that again. We're going to go on to something else. Wow, that took him almost an hour? No, maybe I did get the high score. I don't know, maybe we'll try one more thing here. Since this stream has already been about an hour. It went longer than I thought it was going to. Let's go over to the games library here. So, yeah, Streets of Rage 3 is not going to be a favorite. Streets of Rage 2 will be. So we're going to put that up there in the favorite spot. Not going to do any RPGs, because those take a while. Everyone's seen the Sonic games. Let's do Golden Axe 2. Let's play this for a little bit. So this is excuse me, a little really fun collection, I think. And we don't see enough of these, I don't think. I'd like to see more of these compilations as opposed to special. Yeah, let's do that. As opposed to buying games piecemeal. And I'm always the dwarf. And these are good for streaming just because I can switch games on the fly. I don't have to end the stream and then restart another one. Otherwise, I just have to play a game for an hour or however long I decide that I'm going to run things. So the Golden Axe series, for those who probably haven't figured it out by now, is a beat-em-up series very similar to your Streets of Rage, but instead of the urban setting, it is a fantasy setting. And the original is an arcade game. Ugh. I don't have a lot of experience with the arcade game, if I'm being honest. I pretty much know Golden Axe from its Genesis roots here, which is why I enjoy playing it. And you know, there's something there's something about just simple beat 'em ups like this that you can play and not really exert a ton of energy on, that I enjoy. There are certain games that you want to play that you can just kind of turn things off, or turn your mind off, and just have fun with it. And that's definitely what this is. While there are certainly some challenging boss battles like we're seeing right now, it's nothing overly frustrating, and a lot of the time if you screw up, it's because you screwed up. Might as well use some magic, why not? Got it. Excuse me. It's pretty interesting too, because my time with the Genesis, when I originally had it, while I did have I think the original Golden Axe, and I had Streets of Rage 2, it was primarily a sports machine, so with a compilation like this, I get to play some of the more traditional action games that I either missed out on or that I heard about and I just never bothered with, I didn't have the time for. And again, compilations are just great because you have so many games at your disposal to play. Ugh. Now this is where the skeletons cause problems. Yeah, I don't really want that anyway. There we go. Also like the music in these games too. Very grandiose. No health, huh? Jerk. Oh, this guy's gonna have more stamina than the others. Because even skeletons make death sounds. Ow. So one of the big lessons with beat-em-ups is to not get surrounded. Because if you do, if you kind of get in like a Final Fantasy pincer attack, it's difficult to get out from in the middle. And they can just whoop on you. Wow. Yep. See how they all. That's basically how the AI works. Is they work to surround you. Ugh. Come on. Oh boy. Oh, dead. Wow, even the skeletons aren't gone. It's been a long time since I played Golden Axe 2, obviously. Man. Boss music in this is really cool. Ah. That's 3 sets of magic I use on this guy. There we go. I live. 3 snails. Okay. Oh, there's some life that I desperately needed. Alright. And because I lost a life, my strength decreased. Oh. There we go. Ugh. Ah. These used to be, in the original Golden Axe, these used to be monsters that were pretty painless. You couldn't get hurt by them, and here you can. Oh. And one of them just walk right off the edge. That's funny. I mean, I'm not going to complain. I'll take the help. That's what I like to do too. Oh, he did it to me. Blech. Yeah, see, that is always the strategy, is to get surrounded. You get surrounded and that's it. Another one just walking off the edge. I think that skeleton's gonna get up. No, I guess not. Maybe just on the higher difficulties. I don't mind hanging back. Come on. Receive your beating. There we go. Oh. Didn't want to do that. Oh. Here we go. Do I have any long-term plans for the channel? You know, I did. I still have a bunch of sealed games and some sealed magazines that I've been that I had been planning to do this month. My long-term plan really was, with the start of certain sports seasons, or the advent of certain sporting events like March Madness and the Masters. I did have some games that I wanted to open and talk about and share. But of course, with sports being pretty much canceled for the year, that kind of went out the window. Well, I still do have them, and I could certainly open them. Honestly, I haven't had the motivation. This is really what I've felt most like doing, is just streaming. I know at some point, because I spent the money and all that stuff, it makes sense to get it open and to talk about it. So I definitely will get back to that. It's taking me some time, because this whole situation has just done a number on my morale. Because it's stuff that I'm not used to. You know, I've never in my lifetime have I been in a situation where I've gone to a store and there's been nothing, or there's been very little, and I'm seeing that now. Things like distilled water, for example, that I use for the humidifier in my room, that's gone. You can't get that anywhere. Bread is next to impossible to find around here. So it's all just really done a number on my psyche, and I just haven't felt like doing very much. I'm hoping that when my school job starts again, you know, when we get back into our routine, that I'm going to feel more like getting back on the camera and doing more things that are kind of normal. But it's been tough over the last couple of weeks. But once this is all said and done, and even probably before then, I can certainly see myself. Oops. That's why I couldn't do anything. I can certainly see myself getting back to doing game openings and talking more about my favorite games. It would have been one of the things that I really wanted to do, is another mini series of episodes that I've been doing for the channel called Repeat. I really wanted to use that to cover some of my favorite games, my favorite series, certain anniversaries, like the PlayStation 2 turns 20 in the US this year in September, and I had intention on talking about that. In fact, one of the games, do I get to continue or no? Yes. One of the games that I picked up for Unsealed is a sealed copy of Madden 2001, which was a launch title, and I really wanted to do that also in coordination with the kickoff of the new football season, but again, we don't know whether that's going to happen. But that's something that I'm certainly kind of keeping in mind when all this is done, because my spending for Unsealed is pretty much done at this point. Even after things kind of go back to normal, I need to cut back on the spending that I've done for that particular purpose, because I've bought quite a bit, and I've been doing it just as a fun thing, you know, there's been no monetary payoff, and it's just difficult with the money that I make to keep doing that. So, ooh. So there'll definitely be more repeat stuff, I think, once, once things kind of go back to normal a little bit, and once I start the stuff that I have, as that supply runs low, you know, I'm going to have to change format a little bit, because I'm not going to have any sealed stuff to open, really. My other plan initially, before all this had happened, was to get some sealed games from Retro World Expo this year, and of course that's not going to happen. I don't think, although we'll see. But even if the convention still goes on, I don't know that I'm going to go. Oh, I'm just getting waxed. So the channel is still going to be around. I'm still going to do stuff for it. Right now, it's more streaming than anything. The videos where you... Yeah, you know, the signpost videos and things in my life, you know, I really wanted to do that with, or I had that idea to do it when I was talking about the Dreamcast last year, because that was a big time in my life too. And maybe I'll go back to that format, and I'll start talking about the individual consoles. Am I done? Yes. That's probably not a bad idea. And maybe I'll make a series around it, but I don't know how I'm going to approach that just yet. You know, the things that I do know at this point, you know, I don't anticipate not doing any more videos for the channel. I don't anticipate kind of just giving up. As long as my webcam works on my laptop, I'm going to continue to do videos as long as I can. And I still have the streaming option here, so I can continue to do that too. But you know, the thing that's been rough is just the plans that I had laid out, which I thought were good ones, and things that I've been building up for, I should say, just kind of fizzled because of everything that's going on. And with some out there believing that this isn't going to end for a year, I really don't know how. You know, I don't know how I'm going to approach it. I did mention moving. Originally, I was going to move to Florida, and I changed my mind. And then I had been thinking about moving to a different place here in town, because I'm going to be sticking around and working at the school. But now, of course, with the crisis, that's all kind of changed, because I don't know what's going to be going on monetarily. Heck, I don't even know that I'm going to have a job next year if the schools don't reopen. So I'm kind of taking things very loosely at the moment. It would be nice if I was able to move, because I would get a lot more room. Right now, room is at a premium. Where I used to film, what I like to call Retro Central, that's all buried in games right now. While the game collecting process has been very good and a lot of fun, it kind of built up quicker than I anticipated, and I ran out of room. My closet in my room is where all my Wii games are, and I have over 300 of those. And then I have 900 PS2 games, 950 of them actually, and a lot of those are in cases. And then I have another 700 plus original PlayStation games. So, I mean, I've got over 3,000 video games in one room, and that's the room that I sleep in. So, I do need a bit more room, and I'm hoping to make that happen. It's just that all of this stuff that's going on has kind of put that in limbo at the moment. The thinking before this all had happened was that I was going to be making the move this summer, and that's still a possibility, but it's not a big one at this point. Oh, good. I'm still good. Okay. It would be kind of nice, although I've become accustomed to filming here, especially here in my office, which is where I've been filming videos now for like the last year or so. So it'll definitely be a change. Why Florida? Because I hate snow. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of snow. I used to be when I was in school, but being a teacher, it's a little different. And of course, being an adult, when you have to handle removing the snow yourself, it is a big difference. Especially when you don't have a snowblower. Having to shovel snow every time it snows. Thankfully, we were lucky this year. We didn't have much snow this winter, which I'm certainly not complaining about. But that made things a bit easier. I think we only had... my school district only had, I think, 3 snow days this year, which is lower than it's been in a long time. I think after December 1st... I think I have 2 continues left, right? After December 1st, we had like 1.5 feet of snow the weekend after Thanksgiving, and the day, and then going into like the Monday of that week. So we had, I think, 2 snow days straight. Oh, until I play and defeat the harder modes. That's another one of those. So we didn't use a lot of snow days this year. I think after December 1st, we only had like 4 inches of snow total. We had a lot more rain than snow. We also had a lot of ice too. That's just the way that the weather shook out. But yeah, I mean, snow just hasn't been a thing for me. So I was looking to just leave that all behind. I'd lived in Phoenix, Arizona for a couple of years to get away from the snow, and I loved it out there. But moving to Florida made more sense because, given where I'm at in my education career, I had a better chance to be a substitute teacher or a paraprofessional than I did in the Phoenix area. So it made more sense for me to move down there. In fact, I flew down to Florida not this past February, but the February before, and was doing some advanced scouting in terms of where I wanted to live, and I had some general ideas, but things kind of changed, and I decided that I was just going to stay here. One of those just being moving expenses are no joke. And it was going to be easier and cheaper for me to stay locally, plus a family member has some rental property here where the rent is very reasonable, and living with a landlord who you know like that certainly takes some of the stress out of it. All right, let's do some columns real quick here, and then I'll do this for a little bit, and then I'll probably sign off here. How to play with the jewels. Okay, arcade mode. We'll do medium, why not? Oh, okay, I forgot that this is faster. This game I love just because of the music, honestly. Although I gotta admit, I'm not very good at it. Yeah, I mean, when you live with family, there's certain, or in a property that's managed by family, like there are certain things, there are certain benefits to it that you can't really get anywhere else. You know, like you can get around first and last, for example. If you wind up having a month where you're a bit short, and that tends to happen especially during the summer when I'm not in school, you know, you have ways around that, or you can make arrangements. Whereas when you're living with a regular landlord, that's not always easy to do. And again, just the price of moving is not inexpensive. And you've got to consider not just furniture, but, you know, moving all of this video game stuff and the entertainment center and heavy things. Getting a truck and getting movers to do that, and moving all the way down the East Coast would be difficult to do. I think I'm going to go back to easy here. That probably wasn't smart to do. Plus, up to very recently, I loved my work situation. I work in a great middle school for an awesome principal and with awesome teachers. I had worked there for a couple of years ago, and I wound up leaving to take a tech support job in an elementary school, and I missed where I was. So having a second opportunity to work at this middle school was a very big deal to me, and I definitely took advantage. And this has been the best year of my educational career until right now. I've been working more in like a co-teaching setup, where I've been very active in classrooms, and it's been a dream come true for me as someone who had wanted to be a teacher, and unfortunately college just didn't work out because of financial aid and some other things. But I had enough credits to get the job that I have now. It's really as close as I probably will ever get. So giving that up and giving up the opportunity to work in this building is very difficult, and something that I really wasn't entertaining or I wasn't thinking about last year. Last year I was still working at the elementary school, and while I liked that, my job was eliminated. So that was going to make a move to Florida tough to begin with. And then getting a chance to work back at the middle school has just been, Dream Street kind of stuff. I couldn't ask for any better situation. And I'm very fortunate right now in that, at least for the rest of this school year, we're working with kids remotely, but my job is still intact. Now I don't know what's going to happen next year if schools don't resume on some kind of normal basis, which again, there's a fairly significant possibility that it won't. I don't know what things are going to look like then. The stimulus money that comes from the government, I'm not even going to touch that until the summer, when my job ends like it ordinarily would, and that would basically pay my bills over the summer, and then I'd have a little bit of extra money put away too, obviously, because there hasn't been a lot for me to spend on because every place is closed right now. But after that, when the next school year starts, there's no guarantee that I'm going to have any kind of job at this point. If we don't go back to school, then there's really not going to be any need for for classroom assistants, because teachers will basically, licensed teachers will handle all of the work from there on out. So, I don't know. That's probably the thing that weighs on me the most right now, is not so much the up through June, for example. I'm not as worried about that, but I'm definitely worried about August and September and what happens if things don't kind of go back to normal, like what I'm going to be able to do. Because I don't know. Education has been all I have done for the last, I started doing it in 2016 and it's now 2020, so this is my fourth year. I haven't done any clerical work, I haven't done any call center work, and of course that stuff's not happening. I don't really have any other prospects other than going back to retail, which is going to be dead, given the current financial situation. So I really don't know. I'm trying. It's usually better if I don't think about it, and I've tried not to for the most part, but it's hard not to, for sure. And obviously, making videos for a living isn't going to happen. If they were to teleteach all year, don't you think there would be any... Well, see, I'm not a licensed teacher is the thing. In most states, you have to get a teaching license, and you have to have a bachelor's degree, and I don't have either of those. I have 64 college credits that I earned before my financial aid ran out. I think I'm going to go try a different game here. So I have the college credits to be like a paraprofessional or a... what else do I want to play? Maybe I'll try Biohazard Battle. So I can be like a paraprofessional or a substitute teacher, but when you're teaching from home, you're not going to need to have a substitute because the schedules are going to be completely different, and the teachers will be making all the lesson plans. Did I pick the wrong game? I did. I thought this was a different game. Let's go back over here. That's Bonanza Brothers. I thought that's Biohazard Battle. But again, I don't know. You know, everyone's kind of guessing right now as to what might happen. So, you know, I don't know any better. I just have to kind of wait and see how things shake out. But because I'm an anxious person by nature, I always tend to look too far ahead. When I really just should be looking at the situation I'm in right now. And right now, the way that the situation is that for the rest of the school year, I'm going to be in good shape. So I'm pretty set until August until August. So I really need to start looking at it that way, if I can. Oh, I mean, there's no doubt. I am exceptionally fortunate that I'm in a job that I love. I think my only regret is that I figured it out. I figured out what I wanted to be when I grew up too late. You know, had I known this when I was going back to school in 2012, you know, I could have made things a lot easier on myself. But I went back to school for computer science first, and then I wound up changing my mind midway through the major. So, but you know, you live and learn. And again, I mean, the fact that I earned enough college credits to get a job like this, you know, I can't beat it. Yeah, I mean, I've had so many tours of duty in gaming retail, and it's burned me out. And I really don't see a scenario, unfortunately, where GameStop survives all of this stuff. I don't. So that would have been my only realistic landing spot. I can see a situation when all of this is said and done where there's like Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and Amazon pretty much left. I see a lot of retailers going under after all this is said and done. And that's sad. You know, I'm somebody who grew up going to malls and going to stores and enjoying shopping at stores, and it's definitely unfortunate seeing a lot of these stores in danger of disappearing. You know, as many issues as I've had with GameStop over the years, not having them around would still be a big disappointment. There would be a lot of games that you wouldn't be able to get at like a Walmart or a Best Buy because they don't have the room to carry everything. You know, I've done some other retail back before a discount retailer called Ames went under. I was actually a store trainer for that chain. And it's funny, I got hired just before the company filed bankruptcy, and then I wound up losing my job before I could collect unemployment because I wasn't there long enough. So yeah, that was interesting to say the least. But yeah, it's going to be weird times for sure with retail when all this is done. I don't know what's going to be left. I feel bad for my local mall, which I used to go to pretty regularly, and now I don't know what's going to happen there. They had opened up around one there not too long ago. It was just a year ago that they had opened that place up, and I liked it a lot. They had opened up an in-mall trampoline park. They were going to be opening up a mall movie theater, which now almost certainly isn't going to happen because the movie business is about to be in huge trouble. So yeah, I really don't know what I would be doing when all is said and done at this point. It's really hard to even guess what it would be. Or what it is that I would be good at doing when the time comes. I've just been so used to teaching over the last 4 years, or working in schools and the schedules that come with that, I don't know what my life would be like. The thing that I have to kind of keep in mind is that just having any kind of job when all this is said and done is probably going to be the reward in itself, because there are going to be a lot of people without work for a long time. I just don't see how the economy just turns on a dime and everyone just comes back. Because stores may not have the capital to be able to reopen, even though they get the go-ahead from the government that everything's okay. So it's really hard to say. I don't know. I'm trying not to make any major predictions. Although, as I mentioned, I do think that this social distancing could go a year, with maybe some breaks in between, but not many. Especially based on what we heard, or what we heard coming out of China tonight, where they're locking down certain territories again after they had allowed people to go back to work because the virus is back. They have to wait until there's some kind of vaccine so that you can get people done and you can stop the spread of this thing. But I just don't know, I don't know how long that's really going to take. It's tough to say. Let's try a different game here. Oh, sports, man, athletes have never been in this kind of situation. I know that it's not going to be long before athletes are going to start having their pay curtailed or even eliminated if they don't start playing games. And I don't know how they're going to run it. Unfortunately, I can see a situation where there's no sports at all in this year going forward. No NFL, no NHL, no baseball. And if that does happen, I don't know what ESPN does. I don't know that they can keep showing reruns and things like that. That is weird. I mean, this is surreal now, if you think about it. I mean, I don't remember when we weren't around when sports were canceled like this. This is like back in World War I, World War II. But with the social distancing stuff that's in place right now, I don't know that they can have sporting events like usual. Darn it. But we'll see. Hopefully all of the forecasts and models are wrong, or something is made to kind of curtail, if not the spread, then at least the symptoms of the virus, so that things can kind of resume again. But I don't know how long that's going to take. Because even the promise of some things that are going to help, it has to go through the proper health channels in order to make that happen. There's always word of a new vaccine that's going to be tested, or new treatment that's being tested, that it's got to go through the proper testing channels. They can't just throw it out there and see what happens. That's just a moral thing. They can't do it. So, do I miss writing now that Pat's book is complete? It's funny you mentioned that, because, and I think I had talked about this in the last stream, or maybe it was 2 streams ago. Pat's been in touch with me. Oh, I'm dead. Pat's been in touch with me. There is discussion about another book, and he has asked me about it. And there are challenges with this particular book that he wants to do. I don't necessarily know that I miss writing, because I did a lot of it. You know, doing the last book was it was definitely draining, and at the same time it was cool because I proved to myself that I could do it, but it was a lot of work. Now, if you haven't heard, because Pat's already kind of let the cat out of the bag, that he wants to do an N64 book. Now, I thought that it was going to be a Game Boy book instead, but it looks like he wants to do N64. And I have my reservations about that and my concerns about that because of a couple of reasons. The first reason is that I don't really have the proper game capture devices to do N64, and I don't know that my laptop can run N64 emulation if that's what he wants to do. We did emulation for the Super Nintendo book, as we had to in order to get the proper screenshot sizing and things. Mega Driver's Custom. But I don't know how N64 would work. Yeah, super easy, thank you. Would I do... I don't know. That's really for Pat to determine whether I would do... what do I want to do here? Do that. Weapon select, shot jump. Okay. So I don't know how Pat would assign it. If I'm being realistic, it probably would be sports games again, because no one wants to do those. I'm the only person that has any interest in doing them, unless they're like the popular ones. So games like games like the NFL Quarterback Club series. For example, that would be something that I would probably wind up doing. Would I prefer to do them? I want to do some. I mean, sports are some of my favorite games to play, so I don't have an aversion against or anything against doing them. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's try this. But it really depends on how Pat wants to do it. Now, in the past, what we did was we kind of bid on the games we wanted to do, where oops, that's not good. Where Pat basically asked us to submit a list of games that we wanted to do, and then he kind of doled them out based on what we asked for, and then what was left or what needed to be covered. And it just happened that because sports are my expertise, it was easy for me to do those. There are some games I wish I could have done, but I understand why Pat took them. Like, he took the NBA Jam games, for example. I really wanted to do those. He took the Tecmo Super Bowl games, which I really wanted to do. But, you know, he's the head of the project. I'm certainly not going to tell him, oh, I'm dead. I don't know what I'm doing there. I'm certainly not going to tell him to, you know, that I demand to do any of those. If I get some, great. If I don't, that's okay too. The thing with sports games isn't so much that they're bad, although there are certainly some bad ones out there, but that they're very samey. And that's something that I ran up against when I was writing for the book, was that... do this here. Was that, you know, I had to do all of the all of the Madden games, all of the NHL games, all of the golf games. And if you play them one after the other, which sometimes you have to do because, well, you kind of have to. I didn't want to do that, I guess. So if you do that though, like everything kind of runs onto each other, and it becomes kind of a slog. I remember when I was doing the Madden games, and I wound up having to redo a few of those reviews because you can't compare one to the other. That's something that Pat made very clear when we were doing this book, and I'm sure he's going to wind up doing for any book that he does going forward. Like, you have to judge each game on its own individual merits, and you can't compare one game to an earlier game in the series, for example. So that is a big challenge, and especially when you're playing the games back-to-back, or when you're playing a bunch of them in a row. The only time that you're able to do any kind of comparison is when when you're doing the reflection sections, which is fine. You know, I certainly am not. I certainly understand and I appreciate that approach. But I always was under the impression that you're going to need to make some comparisons. Because, which of the games is better? Was there improvement from year to year? So, yeah. Let's see. What was the least favorite game you reviewed and your most favorite? Most favorite game you never played before the book? Oh, boy. Well, I mean, I see this question on Twitter a lot. Like, name your 3 favorite games or whatever. And I'm almost 50. I've been playing video games since 1976. I have played literally thousands and thousands of games in that time. For me to narrow down that list of all of those games to 3 or 1 is a massive undertaking. Now, in terms of games that I reviewed, going back through like my reviewing career, boy, that's tough, because I'd be going back to like my days in like the gaming press. Boy, that's tough, because I got some real stinkers, I can tell you that. I remember I had to cover a lot of like the 989 games, for example, for PS2, for Pat's book. Oh, games I never played before the book. Okay. There's a volleyball game. Dig and Spike Volleyball was a game that took me by surprise. I didn't think that, I knew nothing about it. And I'm kind of a volleyball game snob. There are a lot of volleyball games out there, but there's only one that I really enjoyed, and that was Super Spike Volleyball for the NES, a game that I still put in like my top 10 NES games of all time. But when I played Dig and Spike, I was actually impressed with how fun it was. I was not ready for that. So that was a game that definitely stood out for me. The IRM Skins game is another example of a game that I hadn't played before this review, or before the book, that took me by surprise. I really enjoyed. Trying to think of some others. I think I looked a little differently on the True Golf games, aside from like Wicked 18, which is incredibly unfair. Those games are actually fun to play too. Although I think I've learned to appreciate golf games more later in my life than I did when I was originally playing SNES back in the early 90s. The worst games, I gotta probably go with, well, there are quite a few football games that are in the conversation, like Pro Quarterback, Emmitt Smith Football, Capcom's MVP Football. There are a lot of like Madden wannabes that just were not very good. Oops. So, aside from the Madden games and maybe the NFL Quarterback Club games, like good football games for the console were not all that common to come across, even though there are a lot of copycats. Even for hockey, honestly, you know, like NHL Stanley Cup, I've actually looked at less fondly over the years than I did when I first played it. Ow. Whereas the game that did that whole rotation thing first, being NCAA basketball, is still very good. Am I dead? Yeah. I had never beaten Gradius 3 before reviewing it for the book, so that was kind of neat. Gotcha. You know, Batman Returns I got to do for the book. That was exciting because I didn't think I was going to get a chance to review anything like that. I kind of got lucky in that there were some other writers who were behind, and Pat needed to get that done. So when the opportunity came up to cover it, I was more than happy to put my name in there and to do it. And I had an opportunity as well to revise some reviews for the NES book, the newest edition of the Ultimate Guide to Nintendo for the NES. I actually have some reviews in that latest edition too. But some of those games were generally not good. Like Heavy Shredding, for example, was, oh god, I complained about that so much. I even told Pat at one point, I'm like, I'm doing the best I can. I cannot get past certain parts of the game. I had never had that before. I did, like, Harlem Globetrotters, I think I did. And that game is bad. Ultimate Basketball, I think I did. I did get to do the original Gradius, which was nice, because I did Gradius 3 for the Super Nintendo book, so that was cool. What's Pat like when the cameras aren't rolling? Reserved. Pat is very reserved when the cameras aren't rolling. The personality is definitely different. Not different in a bad way, but just the guy has so many irons in the fire, and he's so business focused that you know, he's much more laid back. Do I still go to the yearly Retro World Expo cons? Well, they're called Retro World Expo now. Unfortunately, John Delia, or John D, is no longer part of RetroWare. He moved out to the Midwest, and the website actually got purchased by Screenwave, the same video folks who are responsible for like Angry Video Game Nerd and some others. They're great MCN, I think. I know Ryan. I've met Ryan a couple of times. Ryan Schott, who's just an awesome person, and another person who works very hard at what he does, and kind of, you know, his hard work kind of has helped to make Screenwave what it is. I got to meet Ryan at Too Many Games a couple of years ago. But yeah, RetroWare isn't really RetroWare anymore. And there have been attempts to kind of get the website up and running again. I know that some of the writers have been asking about access and trying to get things done again, and it's in a state of flux right now because things are changing, and there's some things that Screenwave wants to do with the site in terms of how they want to position it. Lance, however, Lance is still working with Retro World Expo. I talked to Lance not too long after all of this nonsense, this crisis stuff happened. So I've been working with Lance every year on the show, on the Retro World Expo show. This is supposed to be the 6th year of the show, if we have one. So I get to see him every year. Last year was great because we had We had Tim Kitzrow there. We did stuff for the NBA Jam 25th anniversary. We had Tim Kitzrow. We had Sal DeVito was there. And when they were doing the NBA Jam panel, they actually conferenced in Mark Turmel for a little while, and that was awesome. And that was, I mean, that was a dream come true for Lance, who's always been a Midway Games fan, just like I've been. Between Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam and NFL Blitz and things like that, so it was definitely a big deal for Lance to have Sal at the show, and it was a lot of fun. I definitely fanboyed out, both with him and with Tim Kitzrow. I still have signatures from them on my badge from that year, and I still have my NBA Jam and NFL Blitz copies signed from them. Those are my pride and joy. I really haven't had a lot of things signed by artists, but that's one thing I definitely wanted to have done. And they were so awesome about it when they signed the stuff, and I actually had a chance to thank Sal and Tim for what they did in NBA Jam, and I explained what was going on in my life at that time. And Sal had mentioned that when NFL Blitz had come out for consoles, that he was going through a rough time in his life. I believe he said that his dad was battling cancer. So, you know, it's funny how, you know, video games kind of mean different things to different people and what they kind of bring out in all of us. So that was, you know, the shows have been great. At Retro World Expo every year has been really exciting. You know, I had signed back on this year to do some social media work on the Twitter side. I wasn't going to be the only social media guy. I had actually taken last year off. But, you know, of course, with the health situation, no one knows really what's going on. And I can't even say for sure that I'm going to be going to this year's show if we have it. Just because I don't know how comfortable I'm going to be with big crowds like that. So it's kind of a, you know, So it's just kind of a weird time. You know, I see, you know, John does post stuff on Facebook and on Twitter. He's still pretty active. I believe that John still uses. Oh, geez, look at that. So that's pretty interesting. So is it midnight? It's 12:15. Interesting. So just so you know why I'm kind of looking at my watch here, or my clock here. The Final Fantasy VII Remake download just started. And I have been wondering about that because of everything going on here. Although the game's not going to be playable until the 10th. So that means I'm going to be leaving the old PS4 on overnight here and just letting it kind of do its thing. But that's cool that it's downloading now. That's going to be nice, so that on the 10th I'll be able to start playing it. That's exciting. I won't be streaming it, by the way, at least not right away, just because of spoilers and things, and because everybody else and their brothers are going to be doing it. Plus, I don't know what Square's policies are going to be in terms of what can be streamed and what can't. I remember I wanted to stream. Oh, geez, more? I wanted to stream Bioshock, and Bioshock just cancels out everything. You can't, if you stream it, you can't, you can't show anybody what's going on the screens. So, at least on the PS4 here, it's automatically grayed out. So I don't do it. But you know, when I do streaming on here, you know, I'm definitely going to be coming back to. Can we kill this guy, please? Or is this going to be it for me? Nope, I did it barely. You know, I'll definitely be doing more Genesis games like this one. Oh no. Okay. I have a bunch of Arcade Archives things that I want to do. I still have ER Kung Fu, which I've been meaning to do on stream, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it. So that's a possibility. I love playing Mat Mania and Mag Max and Karate Champ. Those have been a lot of fun to play. Now I'm done. So there's plenty of stuff for me to cover for streams at a later date. That being said, it's been about 2 hours since I started the stream, and I think I am done for the night. My voice is starting to go on me, and it's getting to be a little on the late side. I do want to thank you guys who checked in. We'll be doing maybe another stream tomorrow night. We'll see. Usually my stream nights are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sometimes on Monday, sometimes not. Usually not on Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I take off. Please take care of yourselves, your families, your loved ones, each other as we get through this crisis, and we'll talk probably next week. See you later, everybody.